Nothing like recording a tier list with a case of the Rona. Yeah. Hello, you majestic stallions and stallionettes. Today we're going to be keeping the tier list very simple and sophisticated. So we're going to be ranking the Genshin characters by how much money it would take for me to punt them. Now really quick, the definition of the word punt, it has quite a few, but we're going to be using the simple version of just basically kicking them and sending the character flying. With that in mind, I don't think any further explanation is needed. Let us begin. So first up we have Aether. He has a very inoffensive face to me, if you feel. The thing is, I'm not the biggest Aether fan. Wait. Okay, we'll put him in would punt for $1 million. We'll punt Aether for the total combined amount of Mora he's made from his commissions. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so it's probably gonna be more than $1 million to be fair. But yeah, actually we'll put Lumine there too, except I'm not punting Lumine. No, Lumine is so wholesome, bro. Her facial expressions warm my heart every time I see them. Like, people want those Archon quests for the story, and I do too to an extent, but the Lumine expressions are what make the Archon quest great. So yeah, those are where the twins are going. Next we got Amber, the good noodle of Mondstadt, literally. With that in mind, I would have to get a sufficient amount of compensation to punt someone as wholesome as Amber. That's the thing. And honestly, after I punt her, I'm gonna feel so guilty because she'll probably get up after the kick and be like, oh, well, I hope you enjoy your $1 million. And that's just gonna make me feel worse. But nah, Amber's a good noodle. She's not quite on the would never punt, but she's pretty great. Next, we got Albedo. The thing with Albedo is his facial expression, I'm sure turns a lot of people off because he doesn't show emotion, which I'm sure can make a lot of people annoyed at points. But for me personally, I would never punt my personal best boy. Yeah, we don't even have to talk anymore about that. If you've seen a video of mine, you know, no further explanation needed. Next, we got Ayaka. So the thing with Ayaka is she's really wholesome, but she's not quite on the same good deed level as someone like Amber. With that in mind, I'm gonna feel like poop, but I'd punt her for 3 months worth of rent. Absolutely. And why do I feel like after you punt her, she would say something like, so rude. See, meanwhile as Amber would be like, it's okay, enjoy yourself. Yeah, see, that's the differentiating factor there. But she's still a wholesome cinnamon bun and I'd feel bad, but at least I'd be able to keep myself from being evicted. Thank you, Ayaka. Next we got Barb, who's really nice, but I personally, I don't really care too much about her. And my little living room is needing a new sofa right about now. And I'm sure I'm going to hell for this. But it's okay. We can deal with the afterlife after life. Did you see what I did there? But yeah, I'd punt Barbara for a sofa. Preferably a nice leather one that I can't afford realistically. But yeah. Next we got Benny Boy, who I will not punt for free out of pity. Because he is a good person, just he's been dealt a bad hand in life. And he needs an exorcist like Chung Yun to purify this man. But similar to Barbara, I don't have much of an attachment. So I'll still punt him for a new sofa. And ironically, I don't think I'd feel that bad. Beto, absolutely not. Out of fear for my life. Even if it was for $1 million, bro, if I punted her, I feel like my foot would break on her rock hard behind. Why do I feel like she has a rock hard butt? Anyway, yeah, I feel like if I even touched her physically, she would just break my leg and I'd just be crying. But I just did it for some money, Beto. And she's like, yeah, well, now you can use your own money to pay for your hospital bills. Yeah, I wouldn't punt Beto. I'd be too scared, man. Chung Yun is a very wholesome boy. I'm not punting Chung Yun. No, because I feel like I'll be cursed with bad karma if I do that. Because he's a good karma exorcist boy. And I feel like you'd become someone like Benny. You'd have really bad luck after you punt someone like Chung Yun. Absolutely. With that in mind, I wouldn't do it. Because he's also a really wholesome dude. He's a nice guy. D-Luke, if it was last week, I'd punt him for free. But recently, I've been looking into his lore, and he's kind of a Chad. The thing is, no matter what? I wouldn't feel bad about punting him because there's this motto that anime has taught me. And it's that if you kill someone, you must be prepared to be punted on the butt. But yeah, with that in mind, 3 months worth of rent for punting D-Luke, I think that's justifiable. Yeah. Next up, we got Diona would punt this girl for free. No compensation is required. There's a thing with characters in video games that don't seem to know what happiness is, and she's just a grumpy cat. And yes, you can debate, but Mr. Bonk, she's a child. Well, guess what? I don't discriminate based on age. Everyone is in this together. And with that in mind, yes, I would punt her for free, without a doubt. Next up, we have Jean. Now, she's very similar to Aether for me in the sense that she's very not offensive. Like, she's just kind of chill. With that in mind, I'll put her in would punt for 3 months worth of rent because she's kind of just a really good person. And I feel like punting someone who has a high standing would probably get you in a lot of trouble realistically. Similar with Ayaka, actually, I didn't mention that. But yeah, you'd get in trouble for punting these two. But if it keeps you from being evicted for 3 months, absolutely. Next, we got Ganyu. I'm not punting Ganyu. Absolutely not. Because Ganyu's just too wholesome and relatable. She's too overworked, man. She doesn't need the inconvenience of a random stranger going up and kicking her on the butt. And I feel like she'd be similar to Amber in the sense that she would just brush it off and be like, oh, it's okay, don't worry. I just need to get back to work now, though. I hope you enjoy your compensation from whatever contract you had. But yeah, I couldn't punt Ganyu. She's too wholesome. Hu Tao I would punt, though. Absolutely. Now, the thing is, I'm not punting her for free because I like Hu Tao. With that in mind, wait. Okay, we'll punt her for 3 months worth of rent. Yes, because I will use the money that I received from punting her to buy a coffin from the funeral parlor. Okay, because we all need a coffin at some point in our lives, and in which case I'll just be investing at an early age. So I think it would work out in the end. Yes, she would accept the fact that she'd be punted because I'd buy a coffin from her. Absolutely. I feel like you just tell her, hey, can I punch you and then I'll buy a coffin? She'd be like sticking her butt out. Go for it. Yes, absolutely. Fischl, I would punt for free without a doubt. Because, bro, I would punt her just to make her be quiet for 5 seconds. Yes, after I punt her, she'll start attacking me with, how dare you, thine commoner, hit my scrudiddly umptious booty. But those 5 seconds of silence that you'd get from punting Fischl would be very nice. And I do like Fischl, mind you. It's not like Diona where it's just disdain. But yeah, and I'm sure Oz would give me a good lecture afterwards, but it is what it is. Kaya, yeah. I'm sure the senior citizens and Klee wouldn't be the most happy, but personally, I would not feel guilty in the slightest. The thing is with a lot of these characters, even Fischl, to an extent, I'd have that little bit of guilt, but with Kaya, bro, this man had it coming. When you're going around acting as sussy as he is, nah, he needs a good punting. Why do I feel like Kaya might actually like it? Because he's very adventurous, right? So I feel like if you punt him on the butt, he'd be like, ooh. Yeah, but I would punt him for free though, yes. Next we got the purple cat. Now personally, I have an affinity towards her, but I'll punt her for $1 million. Yeah, because she can be a little too angry at points, and yes, she's a really good person. The whole lantern rite we just had, she had this one line where she was just like, I just do everything I do for the sake of Liyue and the smiles on people's faces. And that, bro, if I punted her, I would feel so guilty, but $1 million. $1 million is a lot of money. And she's not as wholesome as these characters down here, well, besides for Beto and Albedo, but listen, I'm gonna keep her and would punt for $1 million. You know what? I'd even give her half the money. Yeah, as compensation. And I'm sure she would still lecture me, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Klee, ooh, I would punt Klee for a new sofa. Yeah, because she's too much of a troublemaker that I feel like she never got the proper educating as a child, which I don't condone this by any means, but a lot of us had parents where if we acted up, in her case blowing up city blocks, we'd get a little bit of a spanking, if you feel me. So I think a little punt on the butt might be needed with all the property damage Klee has committed. But yeah, a new new sofa, I'd feel guilty because she's a child. Again, I don't condone it, but no discriminating on this tier list. All ages are mutually on the same tier. But yeah, would punt her for a new sofa. Next, we got Lisa. Ooh. Wait, Lisa strikes me as similar to Kaya, where if you punt her on the butt, she'd be like, ooh, naughty, or something like that. I swear, she would be like that. Yes, she's the sadistic one, but I can see her swinging both ways. Yeah, so with that in mind, for 3 months worth of rent, because I like Lisa. It's similar to Hu Tao. Like, these both debatably can go and would punt for free, but they're just kind of chill. Like, Lisa's a nice motherly character that I'd feel bad. Like, who wants to punt their mother, guys? That's messed up. Next, we got Mona. Ooh, you know what? Easily, I would do this with Mona, where I tell her, hey, some magical deity is gonna give me $1 million if I punch you on the butt. And she'd be like, do it right now, but you have to give me 50%. Like, Mona would be so down if she would get some of that money. With that in mind, I'd punt her for $1 million. We'd share the wealth. We'd go on a nice party night in the town. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Ningguang, I would never dare, because I would just disappear from the face of the earth if I punted Ningguang. Because let's say for somehow you get past her security and just whoop her on the butt with your foot, mind you, she would just look at you for a sec and you'd be like, I did it for $1 million. And she'd be like, oh, understandable. And then she would just get the entire millilith to come get you, and you'd have like a life sentence in Liyue prison. So with that in mind, I don't want to go to jail, so I would not punt Ningguang. Noelle, how dare you even consider? If anyone would punt Noelle, you're going to hell. I don't care about Barbara the nun up here. If you punt someone as simple and wholesome as Noelle, nah, you're not even going to the afterlife. You're just going into the void. Yeah, never in a million years. Next, we have Chi-Chi. Wait, why do I feel like I'd feel so bad for punting Chi-Chi? Is it the eyes? Is it the fact that I feel really sorry for her and that she has some memory issues and stuff? Probably. I'd punt her for $1 million though. Yes, I would have night terrors for the rest of my life after punting Chi-Chi. And the thing is, she wouldn't even remember that I punted her, but I would. And as someone who has a conscience, I'd be having demons for the rest of my days. But still, $1 million, it might fight some of the demons off. Yeah. Next up, we have Razor. Ooh, would I feel bad for punting Razor? I think I would, because he's had a really hard life and he just has a really wholesome way of talking where he kind of talks like a child. But for $1 million, yeah. And I feel like he'd probably try to hunt me down for a bit after I did that. He'd be like, why? You kick butt. And I'd be like, for money, Razor. And he'd be like, what is money? But yeah, you know what? I'd use some of that money to just buy him a lot of clothes to make him look more presentable, because he needs some nice clothes, man. Sucrose, never in a million years. If it was before the recent Windbloom Festival, I would say yes. But now, no. Where's Kale? I need to bring Kale in here too. Yeah, these two are a package deal. Kale and Amber? No. Sucrose and Kale. Now, they both radiate such similar wholesomeness energies, where honestly, if you punt one of them, I just have a vivid fantasy of the other one just attacking you. Oh, wait, that's cute. But yeah, they're too relatable. They kind of hit too close to home with that social anxiety that I could never punt them. No. Tartaglia? Yeah. This is not debatable. I'm sure most people are going to have him up here for obvious reasons. But yeah, I'm sure we'd get into a fight afterwards and he might potentially kill me, yes. But it's a risk I'm willing to take to give this man the punt that he so desperately deserves. Now, quick thing, I don't dislike him. I think he's kind of a Chad, honestly. But yes, I would punt him with no compensation. Venti, my boy. Yo, wait. We would have a drinking game. Now, we wouldn't bet that much money, so I'd punt him for a new sofa with that in mind, but we'd have a game where the loser has to get punted. And since Venti's a god, he'd probably contact Morax like, hey, yo, I need some Mora for this game I'm doing with this guy at the bar. Yes, okay, I like this so much. But yeah, you'd have some stupid drinking game. The loser has to get punted, and the winner does the punting and also gets a bunch of Mora from Zhongli. Speaking of Zhongli, would I punt him? I'm not gonna say outright no, but I would need a lot of money to punt this man. Because it's like punting a senior citizen. I can just imagine him falling over like, my back. Even though he's a god, it doesn't matter. You still have to show proper respect to the elderly. Venti's an exception to this rule, mind you. But no, Venti's my boy. But Zhongli, if I get $1 million, which I guess he would technically create. But yes, I would punt Zhongli for a lot of money, mind you, yes. Next, we got Zheng Ling. I'm not the biggest fan of her, I'm gonna be honest with you. With that in mind, I'll punt her for a new sofa. Yeah, I think Guoba saves her from being put in the would punt for free. But yeah, she just doesn't really do anything for me. I get she's really young, so that's probably why some of the dialogue lines from her kind of bother me, because she's not really mature. But yeah, I'll put her in the would punt for a new sofa, yeah. Zhao, never in a million years. He has gone through so much. He doesn't need the inconvenience of a bum hunting him on the butt. Absolutely not. With that in mind, I feel like I would be about to punt him, and then I would just be like, I can't do it. And then Zhao turns around and he's like, what are you doing? And then I would just hug him and just start apologizing for even considering hunting this stallion. And it would just be a wholesome moment, yeah. But I wouldn't punt him, no. Jing Cho, ooh, would I punt him? No. I'm not gonna punt the Justice Boy, but I will if it's 3 months worth of rent, yes. And maybe I can use that rent money to buy some really nice shoes that he has. Have you guys ever seen his shoes? They're actually so beautiful and rich looking. They're probably worth a couple grand at least. But yeah, the Book Boy doesn't do anything too much for me. I don't quite dislike him or anything. Well, then again, I don't really dislike any of these characters, but we're gonna put him in the 3 months worth of rent for a punt. Yes. Jin Yan, ooh, similar to these characters. Yeah, I'm kind of just okay with her. She hasn't done anything in memory to personally annoy me. I actually like her quite a bit because of her whole rebellious against the world, yet she doesn't have that kind of personality. She's really nice, but she just wants to send a message, which I really respect. With that in mind, 3 months worth of rent without an eviction, yeah, I'd do it. And I'd give her some of that money too. Maybe she can buy a new guitar. Next up, we got Eula. Ooh. I'm not gonna punt her for 2 reasons. The first reason is that she would exact vengeance on me, and I'm not about that life. Actually, wait, she would just punch you in retaliation, right? Like she'd punt you after you punt her, in which case, that doesn't sound that bad. But the second reason is that she's, in my opinion, actually pretty wholesome. And I do also personally have her as a top 5 girl. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna punt Eula, man. I can't do it. Next, we got Yanfei. Bro, no. Because I feel like if you punt Yanfei, she's gonna make your life a living nightmare. She will take you to court, get a restraining order on you. You have to stay on house arrest. You have to have your groceries delivered to you. You're trapped in a box, which is basically a prison at that point. With that in mind, yeah, I'm not having my life being turned to hell by Yanfei. I do like you quite a bit, Yanfei. Even without the law thing in mind, I would put her in one of these bottom ones. But with the law, yeah, I would not punt her. I'd be too terrified. Next, we got Kazuzu. Now he's a bit of a hippie. I would punt Kazuzu for a new sofa. Yeah, it's not that I dislike him. It's just for some weird reason, I feel like he wouldn't mind that much first of all. And I don't think I would feel that much guilt because he's so chill and easygoing that I feel like if you punt him, he'll just brush it off in the wind and just be on his merry way. And yeah, a new sofa for just a quick kick sounds justifiable to me, yes. Next, we got Yoimiya. Now, if you guys have seen any video, you know I'm not punting my wife. No, thank you. Even with that out of the picture, she's just really wholesome. And honestly, if you punt Yoimiya, I feel like she would take it as a game. She'd think you're just trying to have some fun with her, and she'd punch you back. And I feel like it would turn into just a nice, wholesome, messing around kind of encounter. Like, you know those friends that you're so tight with, that if you just do some stupid, like you smack them on the back of the head, you punt them in the butt, they're kind of just like, aw, you little scoundrel, and then they do it back to you. Yoimiya is that level of chill, With that in mind though, the wife status, yeah, I'm not punting her, no. Sayu I will punt, absolutely, because I feel like Sayu just needs to wake up a little bit, if you feel me. Maybe go smell some of the roses. Now I know her intentions with her sleeping are pure, because she wants to grow up and help people, right? But if we're talking in the moment, would I feel bad about punting someone who doesn't want to get out of bed and go to work? Yeah, I personally wouldn't feel that bad. Unfortunately, we all have our obligations to society, if you will, that we have to uphold. And Sayu is no exception. Yes, she's a child, but again, I don't discriminate. Next, we got Raiden. Yeah, self-explanatory. I would punt her, and yes, I would likely get decapitated, but in the afterlife, I could tell all my bros, yo, I just punted the Electro Archon. And they'd be like, no way, bro, you did that? And I'm like, hell yeah. But yeah, Raiden, I don't dislike her. I don't dislike A, but she's a bit of a meanie bobini, needs to take responsibility with a punt in the butt. Sarah, ooh, Sarah's kind of an angry bird, but I feel like similar to Yenfei, she might get you locked up, but I don't think it would be for life or anything. So I'd punt her for $1 million. Yeah, I could use that $1 million to bail myself out of prison after I punt this angry bird's rear end. Yeah, and I like Sarah too, so I'd be kind of hesitant, but I'd do it for some of that money. Yeah. Kokomi, ooh, wait, Kokomi's so nice and wholesome. For $1 million. Yeah, she's not quite on the would never ever punt the character, and personally I don't have that much of an attachment towards her, probably because this is the only character I haven't gotten that I've wanted on this entire list, but I still like Kokomi a lot, and I'd feel really guilty about punting her, and I'm sure she would kind of be nice about it if you tell her why. But yeah, reluctantly, but for $1 million, yes. Aloy, I'd punt her for free. No, I might as well get some money out of it because I don't dislike Aloy, it's just I don't feel anything towards her. So yeah, we'll just put her in punt for a new sofa. Thank you, Hunter Girl, for your sacrifice. Next up, we got our boy Toma. Ooh, wait, he's such a nice guy. But I'll punt him, reluctantly mind you, yes, for $1 million. Yeah, because the thing with Toma is he's not wholesome. He's just really nice, kind, and gosh darn it, he is wholesome, isn't he? This is the equivalent, I feel, to punting your best friend who's just really nice and wouldn't even mind if they knew why you were doing it. So with this in mind, I'm giving him some of that money 100%, but I would punt Toma. Reluctantly 100%, but it's gonna get done. Eat. Yo, if you're punting Ito, this is turning into a full-out fight. Like, you'll punt him and just be like, "Heh, punted you, bro." And he'd be like, "Oh, I don't think so, bro." And he kicks your butt, and the bones in your bum just shatter. And you're like, "Oh." And he's like, "What's wrong, sissy?" Why am I creating a whole story? Anyway, I would punt him for a new sofa. I'm not punting him for free because he's a Giga Chad, but if I'm getting a bit of compensation, and if I run away quick enough, I think I'll be fine, yeah. Goro is the epitome of just neutral. I don't dislike him. I actually kind of like his hangout event quite a bit. I think it was much needed for a character like this, but I'll punt him for 3 months worth of rent. Yeah. And I think his tail would stand on end. He'd get really angry. Ooh, maybe he would even sense me before I even kicked him. Wait, that'd be pretty cool. But with that in mind, I'll still keep him here. I'm very neutral with this man. Shenhe, I would die if I punted her. Not debatably. No, I would 100% end up dead. The thing is with Raiden, I'm willing to take that risk if it means getting a kick in on the Electro Archon. But with Shenhe, I think she'd be an awesome best friend to have. And maybe if you've reached that level of friendship where she might think it's a joke, then you can punt her. Sure, for some cash. But if you're just getting acquainted and she doesn't know much about you when you kick her, she'd be like, then it's treason then. And she would kick you and just half your body would fly off the other half. Her strength is too much and she kind of scares me at points, even though she's so nice. But yeah, I wouldn't punch Shenhe, no. Next up, we got Yunjin. Okay, now Yunjin, I will always say, deserves more love. With that in mind, I would punt her for $1 million. Because the thing is, she's rich, so I have this thing where if I punt someone who's more well off than me, I won't feel as bad, which is kind of messed up. I shouldn't be like that. Stop that bonk. But yeah, she's a really good person, and she's pretty wholesome in my opinion too. So we'll put her in the would punt for $1 million. Yes. Rosaria, ooh, out of fear for my life, I'm not gonna do it. Because Rosaria strikes me as the type, if you punt her in broad daylight, she won't do anything, right? She'll just look at you with malicious intent. She'll be like, did you really just do that? And I'll be like, for $1 million, yeah? She'd be like, okay, stay safe. And then you'll go out that night with $1 million, buying everybody booze, having a good time. And then you'll be walking home sloshed, and you just hear some creeping coming from behind you. And before you can even figure out what it is, your head is separated from your body. Yeah, Rosario would hunt you down if you struck her in the butt with your foot. Yes. Miko absolutely would punt for free. Miko is the character I would take the most pleasure of with punting her with my Converse shoes on. Yes, the head honcho needs to be brought down a couple levels. And honestly, I feel like punting her is a good way to humble her because no one else is gonna do it. And if God won't do it, then I will, is basically what I'm saying right here. Yes. Ayato the Suave Man, I would punt him for 3 months worth of rent. Yeah, because he's not particularly wholesome. He's just a character I like because he has some layers to him. But if it was, let's say, $3 grand, 3 months worth of rent, yeah, I'd give him a little kick on the rear end to justify that. Absolutely. Yelan, ooh, wait, okay, Yelan, this is personal preference here, but I feel like if I punted Yelan, she would just go all sadistic on you. Like, I don't think she would straight up kill you like Rosaria would, but she would get potentially quite kinky-ish. And based off of personal preference, we're gonna put her up here. Don't ask me questions because I will not answer them. Thank you. Shinobu, the thing is, she's the bestie. Out of any character in this list, she's the best friend character. So would I punt my best friend? Yes. For some money, yes. How much money? For $1 million. Because the thing is, Ito's the type of friend you punt and you're like, take that. Shinobu's the type of friend you punt and you're like, wait, how would you be? Wait, how would you even be after you punch Shinobu? I don't know. I can just imagine her pulling out the law degree after you punt her. She'd be like, don't you know I went to law school? And you're like, but we're best friends, right? And she'd be like, reluctantly, yes. But yeah, I'd punch Shinobu for $1 million. Yeah. Heizo, the flirtatious man. Ooh. I like Heizo though. Actually, kind of similar to Ayato. They're both very suave, but I'd punt them both for 3 months worth of rent. Yeah. They kind of both have that dignified way they are. And honestly, if you punt either of them, I mean, Ayato's rich, so he might potentially make your life a living hell, but Heizo's kind of just middle class, so it might be all right. You tell him you're getting paid, buy him some food, it'd be a nice time. Tainari, ooh, he's really smug, and I kind of just want to punt him. I'll say for a sofa, mind you. And it's not that I dislike Tainari, it's just I feel like punting him, his reaction would be pretty good. He'd start calling you a lummox and everything, and there would just be a bunch of beef happening in Gandharvaville. But yeah, he kind of gives me stuck up energy at points too. It's just that he's a really good person, unlike a little certain somebody up here. But yeah, we're gonna keep him in a new sofa, yes. Next we got Dory. Ooh, wait, what if this turns into a deal, right? So you tell Dory, so the heavenly principles are gonna give me $1 million if I punch you in the butt. And she'd be like, understandable, but here's the catch. If you don't get that money from the heavenly principles, I'm gonna make you in so much debt because you're gonna owe me 500 grand. And then you'd actually get the money and you do business with her. Maybe you go out for drinks with her, have a good time. I think this would be mutually beneficial, but I'd punt Doi for $1 million. Yes. Nilu, I think is too wholesome. Debatably, you can put her in would punt for $1 million, but bro, the amount of guilt I would feel after punting someone who has that much pure intentions and just wants to make people happy. Bro, I'm never sleeping again. I'm developing insomnia stage 700. And the thing is, again, if you punt someone like this and you tell them why, she'll probably be like, oh, it's okay, as long as you're happy. And then that would just crush me. I would just commit die. It would not work. Cyno? Ooh, Cyno I feel like would not tolerate a punt. But maybe if you're friends with him. Okay, if we're friends with Cyno, I'd punt him for 3 months worth of rent. Yeah, because if Tighnari punts Cyno, he's not gonna kill Tighnari. It's just, if you're a stranger, he'll think of it as an attack and just impale you through the chest. But if we're the TCG boys, we're already at that friendship status, I can just imagine him punting you back and sending you flying into a wall. And then you just hold up the money like, it was worth it. And Cyno's like, you're giving me half of that. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, okay. Candace? Ooh, this is a tricky one. Honestly, I don't see Candace as being particularly wholesome. I just think she's a good person though. With that in mind, for 3 months worth of rent, yeah. Debatably, she'll hunt you down with her villagers. Ooh, wait, no. She can't hunt you down because she can't leave her village. But yeah, I'd still feel a little bad because she's a good person, but for 3 months of a roof over your head, yes, absolutely. Nahida, if someone was even thinking of putting Nahida in another tier besides for never how dare you, you're going not to hell, you're going to purgatory. You are a piece of human filth if you would ever put Nahida in a tier that isn't how dare you. With that in mind, yeah, we're gonna put her down here. Lila, similar to Sayu, I kind of just want to punt her to wake her up. But the thing is with Lila, her sleeping is more justifiable because she's just technically overworked or overstudied, if you will. That I feel kind of bad for her. You know what? I don't want to punt Lila. But I'll punt her for $1 million. Yeah, she's just abused by school. And since it's so relatable, if it wasn't a whole bunch of money, I wouldn't punt her. My boy Wanderer, for so many reasons, I would not punt him. 1, because I would fear for my life. 2, because I would fear for my limbs even if I managed to escape. 3, because he's potentially best boy. Enough said. Next up, we got Faruzan. Ooh, wait, I like Faruzan so much. Guys, please, if you haven't played the Faruzan Hangout, play it. She's so good as a character. But with that in mind, the very old, young-looking lady for $1 million. Yeah, because she's been through so much. Honestly, besides for gods and just higher beings in this game, as a human, she's been through the most. Absolutely. Because she's been trapped for 100 years. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna go into her whole backstory, but for $1 million, you'd have to pay me a small fortune to punt Faruzan. Yow. If anybody in their right mind thought to punch such a wholesome cinnamon bun, you're just, how do you live with yourself? There's no explanation needed for that. Similar to Nahida, the queens of would never even touch. How dare you? Next up, we have Al-Haytham. Personally, I do it for a new sofa, yeah. Because he has that attitude, that not caring about anything, which personally I vibe with so much. He's such a mood. But I kind of just want to punt him to change his expression, to wipe that monotone, unfazed face off of his face. That sentence made no sense, but whatever. Yes, I would punt. I'll hate them for a new sofa. Next, we got Dea. Ooh, Dea's tricky because I personally, I really like Dea. I kind of simp for Dea quite a bit. But since she's a mercenary and she's been in combat, I think getting kicked on the butt, it wouldn't be anything new for her. And if you tell her, I need 3 months worth of rent for the orphans, she would be like, oh, okay, yeah, do you need to punt me again? Will you get more money if you punt me more times? Nah, Dea's kind of wholesome actually in her own way. With that in mind, 3 months worth of rent. I think that's a good spot for her. Yeah. Next up, we have Mika. Ooh, okay. I'll put him in would punt for a new sofa because personally, I don't really care too much about him. I'm gonna be honest, but I feel like he just kind of needs to, you know, maybe grow a pair. I'm not insulting his courage or anything. I'm just saying his voice maybe needs to go down a couple notches. Maybe his cojones need to drop a little bit, if you will. But he's not a bad kid. He's kind of a nice boy. But still, I don't have an affiliation, so we'll keep him there. Next up, we got Kaveh. Now, personally, if I had to pick between Al-Haytham and Kaveh, I think I like Al-Haytham more so far. But Kaveh, it kind of just hits, man. Like, he's just down down on his luck. Besides for Benny, Kaveh is the most unlucky character in this game. So out of pity and out of just respect, because he had a really good job as an architect, which I respect any character who has just a realistic job in a game. So I'll punt him for 3 months worth of rent. And honestly, I'd probably give him a third of that because he's down on his luck, man. He needs some love. Last but not least, we got Baizu. Now he's kind of smug and gives heavy stoner vibes to me, but I'm not gonna punt him for free because I think I just like him because I've seen people in real life that give me this vibe. Yeah, and we don't know enough about him for me to justify putting him in either would punt him absolutely or would just never do it. So we're gonna keep him in the middle ground. Would punt them for 3 months worth of rent. Yeah. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the tier list. I might come off as less energetic today because I do have a case of the Rona right now. I'm not particularly sick. It's just my throat is sore. I've been needing to clear it up constantly as I'm making this video, but I'm just really tired. I think that's the big elephant in the room. With that in mind, guys, hope you at least got some enjoyment out of this. I came up with a video idea as I was doing this, which is more on the wholesome side, which I'm really excited to do, but I'll probably do that after my sickness has gone away. So with that in mind, take care, guys, and have a good one. Thanks for watching. Please sub. Bye.